it should support you in doing this home office kind of thing. So a flipping item where you can put on your mobile phone and put it onto your table. But basically, that is not what we wanted to do. That's just a gimmick. If you see on the screen on the left side this motorbike, you can nicely imagine that the reliability of the steering system is very important, and the lightweightness of that steering system is also important in order to guide a motorcycle precisely through the next curve. And that is what makes additive manufacturing beneficial. It is a functional integration. So if you bring like 3 or 4 or even 10 parts into one, and if you make it really being rigid against all the loads that come onto this part and print that in one. So that's what you see on the right side of this image. So the services that are needed, that we thought that would be most needed in order to make that is, from the left to the right, just picking out on some of them. For example, visualization. So best visualize on the one side the design of a part, and on the other side which loads come onto a part, in order to make people really understand what needs to be designed and what needs to be constructed. Post-processing, for example, so what still needs to be done when you pick such a printed part from the machine in order to really bring it into use, like mechanical machining to make good surfaces, like heating it and cooling it down in order to remove residual stress. There are a number of things that need to be done after the print before you can really use it. So based on the idea of supporting these SMEs from a perspective of business, so to make a real business case from their idea, that's this business platform on the bottom left. The technology platform that really looks after a good implementation of construction and the printing, down to skills and education, which more brought us to a mechanism of really supporting the SMEs and taking up knowledge. That is what this amiable services arena is about. And inside the services arena, we have, for example, this is the most loved service that we developed, is Design for AM. So if you look at the key benefits on the very bottom, this is about having a cost-effective design. So to make a design that you can print with minimum post-processing, with maximum functional integration, and with optimal printability, so that each of the prints is really also being able to use. De-risking the build, so this robustness feature, and accessing design guidelines, tools and resources, that is what people should be able to do. Now, we went into it with those services, but we found out that quite a few people don't know very much about materials that are being used in additive manufacturing. And from the very first perspective, that is also not really obvious, because I mean, from our side, we are using those materials. Sometimes there pop up some new materials, or we develop new materials. But for the users, it is not absolutely clear what kind of metal they should use, what kind of plastics they should use, or how to decide between plastics and metals. And this pops a bit back to this Design for Additive Manufacturing service. It is key at the very beginning to be very clear about the use of the product, of the envisioned product, and that has an impact on this materials. So what we saw about across all the time that we have been working in Amiable for the SMEs is that it is of great value to the SMEs that we really discuss their idea in very much detail before going to the next steps. And again, that is why this materials service came up. What we discovered later on was that those that really made it through this discussion of which material, which design, how to print it, how to make the print robust, they came up with saying, okay, but now we want to go to the market, so we need a certified product or a certified production. And that's why we created, in addition to our quality assurance and road to certification service, a certification service that really looks very early at the things that might happen when people want to go into the market with this product. And that again flips back to materials. So we currently have a case, I will quickly address that later on, where a material needs to be selected very early in order to be certifiable in the end. Enclosens, some of these experiments now here, Enclosens, for example, looks for individual casings for sensors. So these sensors sit outside, UV radiation is coming onto the part. Most of the times it's plastics, in some applications it's metals. Again, a plastics part must be selected to be resistant against UV and against the environmental conditions. That is what these guys are discussing about. AMAC, it's a very interesting experiment there. Individual accordions are being developed in order to suit, let's say, smaller children and perhaps also handicapped children, so children with disabilities, in order to allow them to learn an instrument. With such an individually constructed accordion, the price is acceptable and it can be really individually adopted. Very nice, very good approach. This one is about developing light structures for head protection. What's interesting about this one is that these guys came in to Amable saying, okay, we want to develop a structure that is for helmets. Then the first use customer had to turn away from this experiment because they had to look after COVID issues in their company. And that's when these guys came up with going for a second thing and creating an abstraction of what they wanted to do. So today they're currently working on providing a service for structure development for additive manufacturing that can take loads that are requested by customers. So very nice development of this SME that just moved forward by having support. One of the parts, for example, for railway, again, small volume production with a lot of requirements with respect to lifetime, with respect to environmental impact on those parts. And I find this also, again, very interesting. That's one of the new experiments that came in later. That is about including sensors for diving, for monitoring health of divers in the mask. So to have a functional integration at a very high level that is also individualized with all the requirements that are again there. So intrusion protection, pressure resistance of the part, and skin contact acceptance. So again, also certification. So a large number of things come together in these experiments as soon as you look a bit deeper into it. This is about the certification journey we want to accompany. There's currently an opportunity for all SMEs to receive support from Amable. So it's not an open call, but people can express their interest in getting support, because we want to look at the issues that SMEs have, and we would accompany them for a certain time on this road to a certification in order to identify things that we can do in the future. So if you run on our website and look for certification, then you find such an expression of interest opportunity there.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about RAMP, which is a robotics automation marketplace. Actually, it's the product that derived through the journey of the project of I4MS, which stands for Logistics for Manufacturing SMEs. And I will start by presenting. So actually, RAMP is a business-to-business digital marketplace to sell and buy automation services that they are needed in manufacturing SMEs. So manufacturing SMEs can buy automation services that are offered by RAMP, and technology suppliers, competence centers, skilled developers or trainers can sell their automation services to this platform. The platform actually consists of different modules: a data analytics module, request for offers, finding partnerships, a roadmap about the automation in Europe, and the most, let's say, basic and core module of RAMP is the OPIL, which is a logistic automation library that practically consists of different modules, and it's actually an Internet of Things environment where someone can plug in sensors, AGVs, robots, machine of the factory plan. Also, Opel provides a digital twin that is able to do simulations of the whole production process of the factory plant. I would like to go through briefly to some stories from SMEs around Europe that used Opel, and as it was part of the RAMP marketplace, and examine their cases and their experiences. So first of all, I will talk about Punto Art, which was a small Italian company that was providing embroidery and trimmings to major fashion brands. The raw materials and the half-finished products were carried in cases from workstation to workstation by factory workers. And this process was spread in 2 separate floors, which meant that the workers were spending considerable amount of time waiting for the elevator and slowing down the process. So the solution offered by RAMP was the digital twin that created a simulation of some current or future paths using Jobot. Jobot is a kind of HGV hybrid robot that picked up and delivered loads between workstations and used the elevator independently wherever it was needed. So the workers could call the Jobot with their tablets or smartphones and select the next task. The most important changes concerned the scheduling of the task assigned to Jobot and the interface with the lift. So the result of that was the time spent on manually moving materials was reduced significantly. Before the experiment, workers spent like 20% of their time moving materials manually between the 2 floors, and after the implementation, this was reduced to approximately 2%. Moving on, we will examine also Procalçado. Procalçado is a shoe component manufacturer based in Portugal. Procalçado wanted to reduce the machine downtime and improve the just-in-time delivery of the factory. So the company wanted to improve also the safety of the workers during the mold change operation. So the solution from Opel and RAMP was provided in 2 parts. Designing material handling solution where an HGV delivers the material boxes to a set of gravity-based conveyors, and Opel as the Internet of Things library automation, logistic automation library, was used to integrate its task as a mission, giving coordinates for its task regarding the infrared sensors that detected the box. The productivity, the result of this experiment was that the productivity was increased by 5% with the machines using the AGVs. The number of accidents was reduced by 72%, and 0 accidents occurred during the mold change. So this helped to increase the job satisfaction among the factory workers, increase the net profit in a yearly basis, and the production was fastened a bit to the point of 9%. Another success story was Basicos. Basicos manufactures high-precision parts and equipment, such as injection molds and cutting and forming dies. So its product required a unique workflow, which made intra-factory logistics difficult to automate. Some small parts were carried manually or pushed in trolleys from warehouse to workstation, and big metal plates that weighing hundreds of kilos were lifted onto trolleys with roof canes. The solution offered from RAMP was the digital twin that simulated the automated transportation of the small parts with different automated guided vehicles. Machine operators would call, for example, the HGV to the workstation, load half-finished project on it, and then would send it to the next workstation. So all orders would be given from tablets or smartphones and directed to HGVs, relying on the Opel modules that are included in RAMP. The result from this experiment was that the benefits have been seen in the 3D simulation tool of the library automation library. So it turned out that the solution supported the overall information flow regarding logistics by transferring it to paper from paper forms to the Opel interface on tablets. 20% of the space was saved in the shop floor. Labor and ergonomics costs related to intrafactory logistics were cut up by 70%, and time spent on the intrafactory logistic information was reduced to the amount of 65%. Maybe I went a little bit fast on that, but that was actually some of, three of the most basic success stories we had through this journey of I4MS. And you can find more information about I4MS projects in I4MS.eu, and you can download and test this intralogistic environment in ramp.eu.
Okay, great. Thank you for having the opportunity to present our outcome of the Cloudifactoring project. The main outcome is our digital workspace for engineering. And as the name is already given, digital workspace, we hope we are just a bit different from other marketplaces. So, but let's go on with the next slide, please. Okay, so the Cloudifactoring project, at least we will develop the Mgora digital marketplace for digital engineering, which facilitate the access to cloud and HPC-based modeling and simulation SMEs. Please click, Maria. And please click again. And again, please, sorry. So to give a rough overview, we've run we had at least 3 waves of experiments implementing 21 application experiments. And out of those experiments, we are deriving those services which will be presented on the upcoming marketplace. So our ambition is to be Europe's leading engineering workspace with economic opportunities for every member. Means we will offer digital services to be used and licensed directly on the workspace. So, for example, you can make a fluid dynamic simulation quite out of the box. We will offer data analytics services to give first insights into data. So it will be quite a good mix for SMEs to get into the area of simulation of artificial intelligence, and later on also on services related to digital twins. We have a central management of accounts, and we are also measuring consumption and other resources that the workspace will be able to create builds for the users of the workspace based on their consumption of computing resources, and also for the fees for using those services in the workspace. So we are also providing, let's say, something like company accounts, and under those company accounts or single accounts to access those different software as a service offerings. And we also for sure ensure the interoperability of those services and resources, and we offer trust, security, and privacy on this workspace. So please click until the text is filled up on the left side. Okay, but if the digital marketplace or the digital workspace, it's not only about software as a service, because we've done this in the past, and only offering software as a service is not a sustainable or will not create a sustainable business model for the future. So we are aiming to create a thematic platform to facilitate the access to cloud HPC-based modeling and simulation. And we like also to empower the technology providers to offer their solutions on this workspace. We will provide for sure training and consultancy which are related to the services, but we will also have some independent training and consultancy services for SMEs who like to solve a problem. The main thing is that we would like to connect people and to facilitate the collaboration of experts with interested SMEs, and that's what we are currently working on. And my company, Cloud SME, will be the company who will run this workspace when it will be public available. So it means mid of the year, after September this year, this marketplace will be available in a commercial way, but I think in a beta phase or in a testing phase. But all of you are invited to visit our new workspace. Next, please. Just an overview of those stakeholders. On the left side, you see, you are able to see the community part. So the community part is driven by those consultants, by the manufacturing SMEs, and as well as by the digital innovation hubs. So our intention of this workspace is not only offering those services directly to those interested SMEs. One other distribution channel from our point of view will be also that our aim is that the workspace gives also a tool set to the DIHs to consult their clients in their regions. So, and this is a second, let's say, distribution channel, which is based on more traditional distribution methods. So we like to support those direct interaction of a DIH with an SME with some tools which are then there presentable and which will cause the interest of the SME to go further the road with the support of simulation and other advanced ICT tools. So Maria, please start the video if you like. So this is it's okay. Please start the video. It takes 3.5 minutes and gives a first impression of this workspace. You are able to start this, Maria? Or
no, apparently I cannot. I don't know why. Let me try if I'm not sharing my full screen. Maybe this way, and I will make it bigger. Let me see. Nothing happens.
oh, that's a pity.
Let me check. Maybe there's something I did wrong, or
Maybe the access is blocked there.
yeah. Sorry, I cannot share it.
Okay, so that's a bit.
Yeah. Maybe later, if we can look at in YouTube, we can put the link in the post after the event, so that people can check it.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for this. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So we think that for the success of the Mgora workspace, the DIHs are our key for success of this workspace. So, and we do also have a following up project, which is called DigitBrain. It's about digital twins, and it's building exactly on the infrastructure which we already created with the Mgora marketplace. And as you see, we do have a lot of contact points, meanwhile, in Europe, which we like to use to distribute our service offering. Next slide, please. Next slide. So please click until it's filled. Thank you. So at least to summarize, Mgora aims to democratize the access to advanced ICT solutions of manufacturing SMEs. And we also like to expand its network of DIHs and collaborators. And we are quite active in this, and we already received some interesting offers. And again, to say our aim is just to present a set of things which are really usable for SMEs and offers also a low barrier entrance into our world of digital advanced services. So, and we would like to be a major service to support the DIHs, as I mentioned before, And we want to create an own ecosystem to foster the digital economy in Europe. And for sure, everything is also based on our collaboration with our I4MS network. Next slide, please. So this is at least what I would like to invite you is not only thinking about using the marketplace, but if you have some incredible services which are related to SMEs, which you are thinking is useful for the SMEs to get into simulation, to experience the use of simulation, to get into the world of digitalization of SMEs in such an advanced way we are thinking of, then please get in contact with me, and we will find a way that you also be part of our community and that you are also able to present your service based on our workspace for engineers. And thank you for listening. And if you got if you'd like to have further information, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you all.
My name is Susanne Kürer. I'm working for Yeti Digital, and I was the coordinator of the MIDI project, which was okay, it does not work. Which was the which already was the fourth project of the phase 3 projects. And our project already ended in September 2020, but we have created something that is going to last, let me say it like that. And we were the only, one of the first projects that was dealing with the digital innovation hubs. So we created a platform for services connecting all the services from the digital innovation hubs. We had also 2 rounds of open call experiments. In total, we had 32 experiments, and we had already to be able to fulfill all what is needed. We had already 16 different entities in our consortium, which were either digital innovation hubs already, or were competence centers, or were also teaching factories. Okay, it does not work. So what was our approach? We have this ecosystem of competence center digital innovation hubs. What was important, and this is the main part here of my presentation, to develop this this collaboration platform for digital innovation hubs, which we call the DIHIWare. And we developed in the project also an open source digital platform, which we offered to our lighthouse experiments as well as to our open call experiments. What was our vision for the collaboration platform? That we wanted to match here knowledge-driven services also with catalogs and with an innovation side and collaboration side of the whole market platform. So what was our development approach? The DIHIWare wanted here to have the community be able working together and offering these services to the SMEs. We have put a high value on innovation and also on the business processes, and it was our vision really to create here a collaborative working space, both for the demand and for the supply side, for matching here to give the possibility to service providers, IT platform to providers to offer here everything, and then that the demand side and the SMEs can access it. So we wanted to bridge the gap to understand, okay, what is the community offer and what we can do with the DIHIWare to support this. So what was our gap? We had to understand the structure of the community space to make it fit to the community, how it should work, that it is suitable and usable for all the stakeholders. We had to implement catalogs that serve for the community offer, and we had to adapt the entry forms for all the entities that they can promote what they want to promote when they are offering their services in the platform. There is a continuous development roadmap. So we are working on the needs for the platform. We have created this platform, which is, you can see then on the next slides, it's not only an IT tool that can be customized, but it is also already a marketplace that is adopted. But we are continuously, there have been a continuous development and a deployment then for the customization of this IT tool. So what was the adoption? We have already adopted the platform, not only in MIDI, but in the DIH for industry, in some other projects you are seeing here, the quality, Demeter, AI Regio, also in the AOC Hub, in the Hub Cup. And there, here on the bottom, you can see two local Italian organizations, Competence Center and the Organization for the Italian SMEs, that already use this IT tool, the DHIVER, which we have developed in MIDI. So the DHIVER is a multi-level ecosystem. You can use it for a single DIH. It can be used as a collaboration tool between different DIHs. As a collaboration tool between different DI entities, like we have done at supported at project level, like we have done in MIDI. And you can also use it as a collaboration tool from DIH to DIH. And here you have the different targets. The single one and the project level one is the target group, the SMEs. In the other level, it is more on the DIHs. So this is the first level. We have, you can see here the example from the Polyme DIH. They have adapted the DHIVER platform, offering their services now through the platform. You can always here find at the bottom the links that you can access them, and the presentation will be made available. Here we are talking about MIDI, the marketplace we have created for supporting CPS and IoT adoption and the transformation of the SMEs, because we are also offering skill services. So this is the DHIVER platform we have created in MIDI, where you can find all the services that the MIDI ecosystem is offering. And then you have the level of the DIH for industry platform, the DIH to DIH collaboration. And here you have the portal for the DIH for industry. You can there then also already find there in MIDI, there is already AI Regio inside. And we are working here a marketplace of services for the data, business, ecosystem, skills, and training. So this is the services we are offering. Yeah, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. Then in your case, if there are DIHs that are interested in becoming part of DIWare, they can contact you, right? And
yes, exactly. Yeah.
So your platform, as well as the one from Cloudy Factory, also aims at having DIHs, within the platform, having their offers there, so that they can also connect with the ecosystem. Okay.
Yes,
so, yes.
exactly.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. I don't know if there are some questions in the chat, or someone would like to make a questions to the speakers. You can either use the chat or open the mic. Okay, so no questions. Then I can make some questions to the speakers that while they were talking, I was taking some notes. First question for Ulrich. Ulrich, you mentioned that first the SMEs contact you, but once you tell that they have to pay, that sometimes are not willing to do these payments. But why do you think is this happening? Is because they don't feel interested, they don't understand the benefits that this technology can bring them, or is really a financial problem?
We are trying to look into that by asking people in two ways. The one thing is that we currently ask our SMEs that are running experiments with us how they value the service, in order to get an idea if we really do the right thing, and if it is of value to them, what they would pay for it. But the other thing is that sometimes really SMEs don't, let's say, see that they will have a benefit from it. They start off with an idea, they make a construction, because CAD systems for just drawing a design on the screen are very cheap today. Sorry, not very cheap today, but there are public versions and there are commercial versions, and you can somehow do it. So you can draw your own design, you don't need an expert for that, and you can send it off for printing through 3D hubs or whoever. So they are going onto this journey. I don't know if it's good to say, without really knowing what they are going to end up with, but we see some SMEs struggling with it, some SMEs succeed with doing so, and this path to go for professional services is something that they don't have in their mind. So it's a question of money and a question of knowing what the value will be.
Okay, okay, thank you. Susanne, I think you also have experience, because we had some informal discussions, no, about you know, how SMEs can really grasp on the benefits of the technology. So maybe you can share some thoughts here, or maybe what should we do, what innovation actions should do, or what I4MS initiative or DIHs should do, you know, to make SMEs prone to pay for this type of services.
I think it's very important. Well, I completely agree with Ulrich. It's sometimes if the SME per se doesn't see the value, I think we have a very it is very important that they understand what we can offer is something that helps them in their digital transformation. It is clear that sometimes it's difficult, that they are saying, okay, why should I invest if I can get now from the project some services or something like that. But on the other hand, if they are not clear on what would be their way and what could be the benefit, that they go ahead and they really can find can proceed on with a new idea, with something that they want to develop, then it's difficult.
Ulrich, I think you want to say something?
I think Ulrich, you wanted to say
Yes,
something,
I
right?
may add to that. Yes, I think it's really about seeing the value. What we're currently trying to do is to wrap up success stories. So we're doing interviews with the SMEs, trying to make videos from it, and where they report what they experienced. And the other thing that we and then the other thing that we are planning to implement is, let's say, a quick consultancy kind of assessment thing. So we're putting together what we are doing in very much detail with the experiment SMEs into a sort of quick check to make people aware of issues. So these two things are that we're currently trying to develop to come about.
Okay.
But it still is a problem. It's in many cases just a cash problem, I think. So if it would be of development vouchers from the local regional industrial association or whatever, that would enable them to consume such services with less cash, then I think it would be good. Okay. Some sort of mechanism. I don't know how, but yeah, I mean, this. By the way, there was once this discussion about element 5.
Yes, yes. You mean at regional level, component 5, yeah.
Component 5, did that ever proceed?
Well, I have to say that I don't know the stage of this discussion. I think it's something that we could explore with the regional authorities that are part of I4MS now, and ask, you know.
Yeah. So just for the other I would really like to see some kind of stacking of resources, some coming from the region where the SMEs is currently paying its taxes and creating wealth, and basically, and some cash from the SME, because I'm perfectly sure that the full amount of cash from the SME that won't happen, and they will try it themselves.
Yeah, thank you very much for these reflections. Yeah, I think also again, regional authorities have a responsibility here, as you were saying, Ulrich. The SMEs at the end are creating wealth. There are more than 2 million manufacturing SMEs across Europe. So if we really want to become, a potent, how it's called. Well, we are not going to become United States for sure, but of course, if we want our manufacturing SMEs to be prepared to the global competition, we need to put resources on it, and not only in terms of wealth creation, but also in terms of employment creation and sustainability of the workplaces, because this will be a major challenge, I think, for the SMEs. So just to finalize, I will be sharing one last slide about the opportunities that are now available in phase. This is, you can see here our web page, but I wanted to share is I was sharing this in the chat. But just as they were as Ulrich was mentioning, okay, please go to the I4MS online community. In case that you have questions, you can always contact me or my colleagues in the team, and we will redirect you to Suzanne, Andreas, Ulrich, or Angelos. So yeah, I know there's a lot of information, there are a lot of going on in I4MS, but you can always count on us to put you in contact. Also, we have a catalog of trainings that is available for the SMEs, and also in case that you are interested in promoting your trainings related to manufacturing, please let us know. And also on the best practices, as Ulrich said, this is a good way to show how the digital technologies can have an impact on the daily operations of the SME. So we are also creating now a best practices portfolio where you will find examples on how these technologies has been applied in real environments. And again, if you are a DIH, I saw questions from Ukraine. If you are a DIH and you want to get connected with the ecosystem, we are running now an initiative called I4MS Contact Points Network, where we are asking the DIHs to join in order to receive first-hand information about the opportunities, be able also, to meet the different project coordinators and see how they can also get involved. And in case of the SMEs, we are exploring this I4MS brokering system because we realize that there is a huge offer from I4MS, but sometimes it's not easy to make this available for the SMEs. So through this brokering system, what we try to do is to connect SMEs with the right innovation actions, with the right services. So yeah, please feel free to use it. We will be happy to respond to your requests. And about the open calls, the funding opportunities that will be available for this year, you can see here the calendar. As you can see, there are plenty of opportunities, and they are all targeting manufacturing SMEs, technology providers, digital innovation hubs, and artists in the case of Better Factory and Bojex. So you will find
Maria, sorry,
yes.
Sorry, you're sharing the wrong screen, Maria. Sorry.
Oops.
Yeah.
I was talking and talking.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. Apparently, I clicked on the website and not. Okay, just here you have the information. We will share later on. Here the calendar of open calls, and I also left a slide with the links to all the new projects, and also in my presentation you will find the links to the project that have been presented today. So yeah, this is all from my side. I think there's a question in the chat. Yes, considering the impact of the pandemic in the manufacturing sector, is there a barter system for innovative services in scope for these marketplaces? Maybe someone wants to answer this. Well, the only thing that I can say here is that yeah, at the end it's true that there are many different marketplaces that are operating. Of course, they target different technologies, and also they belong to different projects. So that's why sometimes, you know, it's difficult to swim in these all European projects to find out the solutions. I think initiatives such as I4MS or Smart Anything Everywhere or Rodin, so that there are initiatives that can help you in connecting with all the different marketplaces that have been created. And I know that the European Commission is working on creating a big platform to allow, you know, the knowledge of all this. In any case, I think DIH should play a role here. This is, please, my humble opinion, but I think, yeah, the IAGs should be the connectors. You know, they should play an important role as brokers between the manufacturing SMEs and the European projects. And also there is a question says, is there any difference between DIHs and EDIHs? And well, yes, I mean, the idea of these EDIHs is mainly that EDIHs are connected with other DIHs. DIHs are meant to be more local, and EDIHs are meant to be more focused on the deployment